Now to the latest on the escalating violence in Mexico. Governor Greg Abbott is directing Texas DPS to expand operations along the border. This after a wave of violence erupted in Mexico after the Mexican military killed the cartel boss known as El Mencho. Several dozens of people were killed in the attempt to capture him and the violence that followed. His death setting off several hours of unrest, with vehicles being set on fire throughout the area. That led to a number of roadblocks, which is considered a common tactic used by cartels to block military operations. Now, the violence is leaving many tourists from San Antonio, like Blanco Abud, in a scary situation, having a shelter in place at their vacation destination.
And they don't know when they'll be able to return home. News 4 San Antonio's Karina Hollingsworth is live with a story of a San Antonio woman who's caught in the middle of the violence.
Mandy, Jonathan, the killing of El Mencho has caused widespread unrest, and it has left many travelers wondering when they will be able to return home, as they've been ordered to shelter in place. One of those travelers is Blanca Abud from San Antonio. She told News 4 that she travels to Mexico at least once a year. Abud says that the hotel she is staying at was near the violence, and she saw a lot of the fires that had been set over the weekend. She said today it was a lot calmer, and she is anxiously trying to get back home.
We can't get to the airport because the city is closed and the roads are closed. And there's only one road that takes you to the airport. Now, once we get on that road, it actually takes you through the violence. It takes you right through there. So that's another now putting ourselves in danger.
Abud says she is hoping to fly home tomorrow as things are starting to calm down, and U.S. officials are urging anyone planning to travel to Mexico to do so carefully. Reporting live for News 4 San Antonio, I'm Karina Hollingsworth.
Karina, thank you so much for that. Continuing our team coverage, Melissa Vega is standing by with just how many people have died and what's happening there now. Mel.
Well, we are getting some new video coming into our newsroom right now. We want to show you some of that aftermath of the burned out cars after the killing, the violence of killing that cartel leader El Mencho. This is in Puerto Vallarta. Tonight, we are learning at least 73 people have died during the attempt to capture El Mencho. And after, also want to show you, this is new video of Mexican armed forces outside a federal forensic center in Mexico City, where authorities are confirming El Mencho's death. Forensic testing was carried out to verify his identity. And as we take a live look from the White House right now, the White House confirming the United States provided intelligence support for the operation, praising Mexican forces for targeting one of the most wanted drug traffickers. Mexican authorities now reporting more than 250 cartel roadblocks across 20 states have been cleared. Also want to show you this. The U.S. State Department reporting just a short time ago that multiple airlines are operating from Guadalajara and Puerto Vallarta. And while there is some relief that a major cartel leader is gone, there are growing fears that the violence may be far from over. That is the latest from the Life Desk.
It's going to cause chaos right now, and that's what you're seeing. It's going to cause chaos because now those that are the number 2 or number 3 positions are going to want to move up, or your rival drug traffickers are going to want to try to take that over. This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for a lot of different people down there, and it's going to send people scrambling, and that's why you're seeing the level of violence right now, to kind of exert their type of authority over everyone else. I think the drug trade in the United States could be impacted a little bit, but we're talking this is going to get resolved fairly quickly, but I think it'll have a little bit of an impact on the United States. The biggest impact is those people traveling down to Mexico right now. It could be caught in the crossfires between some of this rival drug trafficking violence. And so, hopefully, people traveling down there, maybe hold off their plans right now, would be my recommendation. Kind of hold off their plans, let this kind of settle down, get back to kind of some normalcy down in Mexico, and let this level of violence kind of go down, because this is not a good time to be down there. You don't know what a rival gang is going to try to do. It's kind of interesting to see the level of violence this quickly and this bad. And what I mean by that is that you look at the capture of Chapo on what the two occasions that he was caught. You didn't see this level of the fires burning and the violence right away, especially when he was extradited. You didn't see this. It makes me just kind of curious of, the big question is why. Chapo and Mencho are on the same level. Trust me, they are on the same level.
Pandemonium in Puerto Vallarta.
It really did look and feel like a war zone. And I think that feeling of anxiety, that feeling of what does happen next or what could happen next is driving what a lot of people are feeling right now.
American tourists stranded in the popular Western Mexico vacation destination, the U.S. State Department urging them to shelter in place.
If you love your life, stay here. Don't go anywhere.
Fallout from a Mexican military operation that killed one of the world's most wanted cartel leaders, Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, known as El Mencho, head of the Jalisco New Generation cartel. U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau says, "This is a great development for Mexico, the U.S., Latin America, and the world. The good guys are stronger than the bad guys." And P.S. I'm watching the scenes of violence from Mexico with great sadness and concern. It's not surprising that the bad guys are responding with terror, but we must never lose our nerve. Animo, Mexico. American tourist Roseanne Hope says there was an explosion near where she's staying.
We ran up to the grocery store and there were like 50 people in there just taking all the food off the shelves like you'd see in COVID.
Mass flight disruption Sunday continuing into Monday.
We hope that during the course of today, or at the latest tomorrow, all the flights will be restored.
Most of the hundreds of roadblocks put in place by cartel members had been removed, Mexican authorities said Monday. The State Department running crisis hotlines for Americans impacted by the unrest who need assistance. One for those calling from the U.S. and another for those abroad, including Mexico. The White House voicing support for the operation that killed El Mencho, calling him a top trafficker of fentanyl into the U.S., and confirming the U.S. provided intelligence support to Mexico. President Trump issuing a statement saying Mexico must step up their efforts on cartels and drugs. In Washington, I'm Atra El-Nashar.
Now to the mayhem in Mexico. Waves of cartel violence struck on Sunday in response to Mexican military forces killing a powerful cartel leader known as El Mencho of the Jalisco New Generation cartel. Block by block here, we see cars and vehicles burned. The windows here of shops just shattered out by explosives and bombs and gunfire. This is just right here a glimpse of the aftermath. Dozens of people killed in both the operation and ensuing violence that erupted across several cities.
It really did look and feel like a war zone. And I think that feeling of anxiety, that feeling of what does happen next or what could happen next is driving what a lot of people are feeling right now.
Several airlines suspending flights to cities like Puerto Vallarta, and many routes won't resume, we've learned, until Wednesday.
So I was supposed to fly back to Minneapolis yesterday, and of course that flight got canceled. So I've just been trying to figure out how to get home.
Tonight, the U.S. State Department still urging some Americans in those affected regions to shelter in place and at all times avoid crowds.
Continuing coverage, let's take a look back at how we got to this point. The Jalisco New Generation Cartel, or CJNG, emerged around 2010 after the breakup of an older criminal group in western Mexico. Led by El Mencho, as Ryan just mentioned, the cartel quickly expanded through violent turf battles and strategic alliances. U.S. authorities say CJNG became one of Mexico's most powerful drug trafficking organizations, moving methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin, and fentanyl into the U.S. and other countries. The group drew international attention in 2015 after allegedly shooting down a Mexican military helicopter, killing 6 Mexican soldiers.